Lewis, and I am so excited and happy to be here with the amazing Miss Debbie Turnidge. Debbie, tell the whole world hello.
Hi, everybody.
So Debbie and I are new business partners with eXp Realty, and Debbie has one of the most fascinating real estate stories I have ever heard. Miss Debbie, tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got started in real estate and the fascinating journey that you've been on through this amazing company.
Sure. So I've been in real estate for 26 years. My husband and I made the decision together to become realtors and build a business, and we did that. We got licensed together. We set out our business plan together. And, a lot of people would say, how do you stand working together all day and then being together at home? And I have to say, we absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
We worked really, really hard. Came across back in the day when builders didn't have home counselors in their models, we were lucky enough to start building our business with the third largest home builder in northern Utah. What that meant was at any given time, there were 400 of our signs out in his subdivisions.
Wow.
And we were staffing his models with agents that we had built a team to do that. We also worked in the resale and referral business, and but that was just a blessing, and we felt like, you know what, we've got it made. Like, look what we're doing. Became very successful. At one point, I was actually ranked 17th in the country for production for my market.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was just a dream. We were building an empire. We were with a medium-sized brokerage at the time. And, of course, our broker loved us. We made more money for that brokerage than any agent in the history of that brokerage. And then life happened. My husband I was 38 years old. He was 48 years old, had a brain bleed tumor combination. We ended up flying him from Salt Lake City to Loma Linda Medical Center in Southern California, where he had extensive brain surgery. We were there for 30 days, and it was at that time I learned my husband was terminal.
Oh, sweetie.
So keep in mind, during that time, I'm keeping our business together. I'm in contact with our team. I thought everything was fine. Get home 30 days later, my husband was having grand mal seizures every day.
Oh, sweetie.
And our son at that time was 13 years old. So I was really torn, and I knew I had to maintain this because I knew that whatever business I could produce was going to sustain my family. Right. And that was the only avenue it would come from, Traci.
Right.
So I get home to be called into my broker's office and to find out that my broker had really grave concerns that I would not be able to handle the listing. And to find out, my broker met with the builder while I was in California and convinced that builder to take the listing away from me and turn it over to the brokerage. My entire world was done. I had a sick husband. To be perfectly candid, the next 2 years, I did what I could to sustain my family. We saved. We were smart with our money, but it only lasts so long, right? So during that 2 years, I lost our home. My son went from designer clothes to literally, we had to shop in thrift stores for his school clothes. And I had not told my husband or my children that my husband was terminal. His surgery left him really limited. And I knew he wouldn't process it well. So one person that I confided in at my brokerage decided to call my husband on December 17th, 1999. I remember that day because it was our wedding anniversary and I had been out shopping. Came into my husband sobbing in the kitchen, and he looked at me and said, "Why didn't you tell me I'm dying?" So on April 10th of 2000, my sweet, loving husband disappeared. We were all over the news, and they found him 3 days later. My husband had taken his life. And because he could not process. So, I mean, I feel like had I been in a different environment, had a model like eXp been around for me at that time, I feel like my husband's death, even though he was going to die, would have had a very different ending. He felt like a total failure. He felt like he destroyed us. And those feelings were compounded by a broker who we had made a lot of money for. And, finding eXp at this point in my career gives me hope again, gives me hope that I can rebuild something, not only for myself, but I can rebuild a legacy to leave for our son. And when you've gone through something like that, and I don't care what anybody says, I've been at a lot of traditional brokerages since then. I've been licensed in 4 states.
Wow.
And the temperature is, you know what? We love you, and we love you big as long as you're making money for us big. I've never found the opportunity to really feel like I'm building my own business, my own empire, something I can leave behind. And Traci, honestly, you reaching out to me and you finding me and me finding you and eXp for the first time in 19 years. I was 41 years old when I became a widow. For the first time in 19 years of struggle and really not knowing what my direction is, I have a direction.
Oh my God. What an incredible story, Debbie. And thank you for your honesty and telling such a powerful and poignant story. I mean, it's just the amount of courage and the amount of inspiration that you are for so many people, sweetie. I mean, and I hear your story and my heart just breaks. We see in our industry a different level, for the most part, a different level of competitiveness and a scarcity mindset. And it is fascinating how, as real estate agents, our brokers often look at us as we're only as good as our last sale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, at so many brokerages I was at, I'd go to a closing, and in some of them, I've worked for smaller brokerages where there was a temperament, and you never know. Yeah, you'd never know if your broker was happy with you that day or not happy with you that day. And since I've joined eXp, the feeling of going to a closing and it possibly being my unemployment check is gone. Is gone. I mean, my family, my big brother, my son told me, he's 35 now, and one of the most precious accomplishments of my life. And he told me the other day, he said, "I cannot even tell you, Mom." He said, "I haven't seen this spark in you in a very long time."
Isn't that amazing? And I think that you're right. I think that, especially as women, whenever we find our passion, whenever we find a model where we can help other people succeed and grow while providing some financial stability for ourselves, there's something that frees up in us. And that allows us to pour into the people that we care about in a much deeper and much more meaningful way. It's, when your cup is empty, you really can't help anybody else, right? But when you feel like you've got people that are pouring into you and that want you to win and want you to succeed and want you to have a peaceful life, it just makes it easier for us to take care of the people that we really care about. But what an incredible story. I cannot wait to meet your son. Can't wait to meet Buck. That's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah, he's pretty special. He's a pretty good guy. Yeah, and I'll tell you that what you just said, Traci, hit me square in the face last week in Cleveland. I have never been at a real estate event. I mean, when I was at the height of my career, my company had galas, and my picture was the centerpiece on all of the tables. Wow. Because I was doing so well for them. Last week in Cleveland, I don't know how many people I had never met before. One of them actually let me stay at her house because there weren't any hotel rooms available. But just the feeling of the eXp model and the eXp energy. How can I help you? Right. What can I do to help you? The unselfishness of the giving, sharing scripts and sharing experiences. Never once did I feel like anybody was holding back. And I think a big part of that is because at eXp, we're all owners, right? We're all in this together, and we want everybody to succeed, because through doing that, we're going to succeed at the end of the day. And what a shame that it can't be that way at traditional brokerages.
Yeah. Well, you know, Warren Buffett says that compensation drives behavior, and you don't have to be real smart to agree with that. But yeah, you're right with our compensation model and the fact that we are all shareholders in this groundbreaking, radically different company. It changes the whole energy. Suddenly you're not my competition. Suddenly you're my business partner. And the only way for me to win is to help you win. And the only way for me to get financially free is for me to help you get financially free. I mean, there's no way to win in the eXp compensation model without helping other people, which is totally the opposite of every other company that I've ever been a part of. And you know, I look at the actions of your broker, you know, back all those years ago in Salt Lake, and I'm sure that in his brain that he felt like he was protecting himself or protecting his business, and you know, I'm sure he had his reasons for feeling like it was okay for him to do that, and I'm not justifying the behavior. It's horrific behavior, and you know, the great news is that, you know, karma is a mirror, right? And so we all eventually, you know, whatever we give out to the universe, it always comes back to us. But I hear stories like that, and I think, well, that's just because the broker came from such a terrible place of scarcity, you know? And that's the real challenge with our industry, is that we have all, you know, you think about your typical doctor's office or your typical attorney's office. All the doctors and all the attorneys feel like, hey, the more that I can help my fellow doctors, the better our practice will do, the better we will all do. But with real estate agencies, it's almost the opposite. There's this attitude that if I help you, then it's going to hurt me financially. And I really believe that that's one of the biggest reasons that eXp is so attractive to agents that have more of a servant's heart, that come at this business with more of a I want to help people attitude, because it fits very nicely into our personalities. The only way that I can help anybody else win is by making sure that you got all the tools necessary to build your real estate business, and to build a retirement strategy, and to build a residual income stream, and to golden handcuff you where you can't afford to leave. It's you're right. It's a totally different way of doing business and looking at business.
Yeah, you know, funny story, even before my husband got sick, he came into the office one day, and my nickname with him was Boomer. That's a whole different sailboat story. And we won't even go there.
Well, you have to tell me that story over drinks.
Yes, ma'am. And he walked into our office. Of course, we had a huge office, and he was looking behind him when he was walking in. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Just watching my back, Boomer, just watching my back." And isn't it sad that I think more often than people want to admit, that's what they feel like when they walk into their brokerage? You know, and that I've thought about that many times over the years, as I've had deals, you know, taken away, or been in the office and heard, you know, horrible things being said about my fellow agents in the office. And that's one of the things that really has stood out to me most in eXp. I mean, since I've joined, I have people reaching out to me asking how they can help me that I've never met. I don't know you, but oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah. It's a different model. It's a different way of doing business, and it's a fun place to be. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, for the first time in so many years, like, have you ever gone to sleep? And I put this in one of my Facebook posts the other day. I feel like I did when I was a child on Christmas Eve waiting for Santa. It's like, I cannot wait for the morning to get here. Because there are so many things that I know I can accomplish now because I have that support and your partnership, Traci, and the partnership of so many people.
Yeah. It's an absolutely brilliant, beautiful business model. So you're in the Austin marketplace now, is that correct?
Yes.
So tell me, are you starting to see any sort of a shift in what's going on in the market in our great state's capital there?
Not a big one. I know there's a lot of talk that there's a market shift. For me, I mean, I'm not seeing a big shift. If anything, what I'm seeing is a great future here. I know the president was at Apple yesterday here.
Yeah.
There is so much commerce coming in and job opportunities. I mean, I talk to people all over that have just moved here. And, you know, if anything, I see Austin on a bubble, but not on the kind of bubble that people normally associate that with. I see Austin just on the verge of absolutely exploding in growth.
Yeah. Yeah. I lived in Austin for a year in my 20s and taught school at Pflugerville Middle School. And the energy in Austin, it's electric. It really is like no other city in the whole world. And yeah, all the reports seem to say that all systems are go for Austin and a lot of growth. It's a great place to be a real estate agent. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I live in Cedar Park, which is north of Austin.
Yeah, of course.
And the growth here, coming north, they're saying a lot of the real estate market and business is migrating to the north areas. And, you know, Cedar Park, Round Rock, Leander, Georgetown, I'm seeing a ton of that become reality.
Wow. That's exciting. It's a great city to be in. And I think the eXp model, I think the reason that we do so well in Austin is because Austin is a high-tech city. Austin embraces technology. Austin traffic is an absolute nightmare a whole lot of the time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to drive to a real estate company to attend a training class? You know, that's like barbaric in the Austin marketplace.
Right. Right. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. And here's the great thing. I have over 40 trainings a week available to me.
Yeah.
But here's the better thing. I don't have anybody telling me if you don't show up for this meeting, we're pulling your lead sources. Or if you don't do this, if you don't do that. I feel like once again, I am the queen of my castle.
That's awesome, Dan.
And that is the best way I can even begin to describe it.
I was on another Be Live this morning, and I talked about how my dry cleaning bill is like $12 a month. It's awesome, you know, because I put on a little dress to come and do this, you know, this Be Live. But as soon as we're done, we're going to have lunch on the beach. So it's a totally different way of doing business when you're not saddled with having to do bricks and mortar. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely, and I mean, let's face it, Debbie Duke is not a spring chicken, right? Technology sometimes can be a little challenging for me, but it's so easy. Like once I got into it, and it is probably the most user-friendly system that I think I've ever been associated with.
Mhm.
And I mean, my son even laughs at me. Sometimes I have to call him and say, well, now how do I get that email on my phone? And he'll laugh and he'll say, Mom, I'll stop by tomorrow. Like, don't sweat it. I got you.
Well, don't give out your son's phone number because there's a lot of eXp agents that might call him.
Right? Right?
Well, our founder, Glenn, is, in my humble opinion, the smartest human being I've ever met in my entire life. And he's a tech genius, a total tech genius. But one of the things that I appreciate more than words can say is that he understands that your typical real estate agent is not very good with technology. So every piece of technology that Glenn brings to our groundbreaking company is vetted to make sure that your typical real estate agent with your typical attention span of a gnat can easily use it and implement it, because Glenn doesn't want our IT people tied up with a bunch of questions. So,
right?
Yeah, the technology is way easier to use than any company that I've ever been a part of. I tell people, if you can log on to Facebook, you can do our technology. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. And can I tell you how much I love every day getting into eXp world with my avatar who looks 25? Oh my gosh. It's like, okay, I'm 25. Here we go.
Hey, and we'll be decorating the place for Christmas here in a few days. So then it's really magical at Christmas time. It's like a winter wonderland. It's awesome.
I can't wait.
Yeah, one of our core values is fun, and we definitely have a lot of fun with this company. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just, and just being at the event, I'm going to go back to the event in Cleveland.
Detroit.
Detroit. Why do I keep saying Cleveland? I was in Detroit, everybody. We were in Detroit. It was so much fun. I mean, even the sessions. I mean, when you have people that are major inspirations in the company on stage, humbling themselves to do a live role play so that you can learn from that. Oh my gosh, I was just amazed.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing another event just like that in the beautiful city of San Antonio. Miss Trish, hello, love you so much. Trish is one of the very first people I talked to about eXp Realty whenever I first came on board, because she's like the biggest, brightest, happiest, super smiliest person I've ever met in my entire life. So anyway, we're all going to be in San Antonio December 4th and 5th. So if you're interested in learning more, then you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Debbie. That event is being put on by the amazing birthday boy, Mr. Pat Hayes, and the always inspiring Randy Donnell, who do some of the best events. In my humble opinion, I think they run the best events within the eXp system. So you'll have a chance to see all that live again here in another couple weeks. Thank you so much for putting that on there, Fish. I appreciate that. December 4th and 5th in San Antonio, I'll be speaking live. I'm super stoked and super honored to be one of the guest speakers, and our amazing Mr. Jason Gessing is going to be speaking as well, who is our president of eXp, one of our presidents. And we are just super stoked and excited about having all these great leaders come into San Antonio and then hang around for the Christmas party.
Absolutely. And if everyone on here, if you can make that event, do it. Do whatever it takes. I mean, what an amazing way to end 2019 and get ready for 2020. I mean, it absolutely put me on a whole different level in approaching my business and approaching sharing the eXp model.
Yeah. And I truly believe that, I'm a big investor in myself. I spend a tremendous amount of time and money and energy on my own personal development and my own personal growth. And I think that that's what has really led to a big part of the success that I've had and my ability to really understand how to help other people. And I can tell you that the only money that can't be taken away from you is the money that you invest in the 6 inches right here. You can lose money a lot of other ways, but it's a beautiful place to be and a wonderful company to be a part of. That's for sure. So I'm curious, when you first took a look at eXp, what was your gut reaction, Miss Debbie?
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I had heard a lot of things about eXp. I had heard oh, it's a pyramid scheme. All they do is recruit. And I mean, I'm the kind of person that will at least keep my mind open enough to explore for myself. Once I heard how it really is at eXp, it didn't take me long to make the decision of knowing this is where I am. And it's funny because I've had people say, well, all they do is recruit. And now I look at them and I say, were you recruited? Who recruited you where you are currently?
Yeah.
Everybody's recruited, right? It doesn't matter if it's a broker recruiting you. It doesn't matter. Everybody is recruited to be where they want to be. I prefer, when I'm talking to people, I don't use the word recruit because of what I feel about eXp. I use the word attract. Because you know what? If I can attract people and help them just have half of the feeling that I have since I've joined eXp, you know what? I've been a success that day. And not for me, but I've helped someone.
I think that what you said, Debbie, is powerful beyond any measure out there. And I hear that too, whether it's just recruiting company. And my response is, yeah, that's totally true. We just happen to be recruiting the absolute best and brightest and most creative and most successful real estate agents in the country. They just put out a press release today about the amazing talent that is coming to eXp. It's the reason that all the celebrity real estate agents and celebrity coaches and massive teams are jumping on board. And it's just because it's a better model, and you're right. Every company out there, if you're going to succeed, you have to attract top talent. You're either attracting great people or you're attracting crappy people. It's and talent wants to go where other talent is. It's the reason that we've grown exponentially, because when you see an agent like you, Debbie, that's come on board, when you have a head turner that's been in the industry as long as that you have, and that has had tremendous impact in several different market centers, it catches people's attention. And you really don't have to do a lot of work. You just have to change your Facebook profile, and people are going to reach out to you for more information. That's the powerful thing, and why our company is so attractive.
Absolutely. I can't tell you the number of people who have reached out to me, Traci, just, from my Facebook posts and from being in Detroit. And it's been pretty incredible. And I will add that had I been with a company, had eXp even existed back when, everything happened that turned my life upside down, you know what, I would have been okay. And I would have been okay to this day, because even though I wasn't able to be out, I wouldn't have been able to be out with clients, actually doing, working in real estate listing or working with buyers, because of what Craig and I built with our team and the attraction of what we had to offer. My family would have never lost our home.
Right.
Right. My son, we would have never had to go to thrift stores to buy my son's school clothes.
Right.
And for me, that's everything. That kind of security, it can't be matched.
Right. And we almost feel an obligation to let other real estate agents know that I love what Pat Hayes says. If you had a cure for cancer, wouldn't you tell everybody that you knew that you had the cure for cancer? And I really feel like with eXp, we have the cure for that instability that your typical real estate agent is dealing with every single day. And real estate brokers, even in a bigger way, your real estate broker wouldn't have had that need to protect himself financially if he had been in the model of eXp, if he was earning revenue share off of everything that you did, and if he knew that you had a vested interest in keeping your business strong and vibrant, and instead of sabotaging you, he would have stepped in to help and serve you. And again, it goes back to compensation driving behavior. Our model takes away all of the competitiveness that you typically have in a real estate company, and it really makes us want to be partners and to to nurture and love and take care of each other. It's a game changer in every way.
Absolutely. I mean, why? And that's one of the things that's evident with the mindset at eXp. You know, why would you not want every single one of your business partners, and at eXp we are business partners, why would you not want them to be okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a vested interest, you know,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
it's just the brilliant compensation model. So I'm curious, when you talk to real estate agents about the life-changing magic that eXp brings to the table, what is the biggest thing that you tend to lead with? What is the thing that you think is the biggest game changer for us real estate agents at eXp?
For me, because of my story, one of the first things that I talk about is what would happen to you and your family tomorrow if you were unable to be out with clients.
Right.
You know, what have you put in place to make sure that your family is okay if something were to happen and you couldn't be out with clients 3 times this week to sell or list a home? And, you know, and lots of times through my conversations this week, there's a big pause.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They don't know. They don't have an answer. There is no answer for that.
Right.
You know, because traditionally as real estate agents, if we are not out in the market doing what real estate agents do, we aren't going to earn an income.
Nope.
And for me, you know, kind of leading with that when I'm talking to agents, it's amazing just the silence.
It's a very sobering question.
Yeah, and usually what's said after that is, well, I don't know. And that's sad that they don't know. There isn't an answer unless you have something like our amazing Rev Share program. There is no answer to that question. The answer is I wouldn't be making any money.
When I owned my Century 21 franchise, my then husband became very ill. And in 1 year, he had 5 different surgeries. And one of the competing brokers at another Century 21 that owned another Century 21 lived in the subdivision across the street, and he had heard that that he was sick, and so I'm at the hospital with him, and this gentleman who is now crossed over, this gentleman came into my office and said to my receptionist, "So I hear," and gave the name of the broker, "I hear that he's dying. Is that true?" Said to our receptionist, and she said, "Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, Traci says he's doing better." Well, that's not what I heard. I wanted to come in and see if there's anything that I could do to help, And she said, "Well, I haven't heard anything like that." And he said, "Well, is Traci in the office?" And she said, "No, she's at the hospital, but she'll be here later," which was my routine. I went to the hospital, and then I came and I worked, and then I went back to the hospital. And anyway, so this gentleman actually walked through my office and talked to every agent that was there in the office to hear if they had heard that if it was true, if my husband was dying. It was like, oh my God, instead of being supportive, you're in there spreading fear within my company. And it's a sad business model that a lot of real estate agents are saddled with. It really is. And I think when we've experienced something where we've had something tragic happen within our families, to see the difference in a company like eXp versus your typical real estate company where they're looking to, they're looking for that injured field mouse so they can swoop down and anyway.
Yeah, and I think if people took an honest look of where they are today, the answer would always be the same.
Yeah. Well, you have to have a lot of cash saved to be able to go a year or two without making a paycheck. There's a fraction of the people in the entire world that can do that, and eXp does give us that opportunity to build a residual income stream that is way beyond what our bills will be. And again, the biggest reason people jump on board with eXp is they're going to make more money in their traditional real estate business, and for the most part, the fees are better with eXp. You don't have any kind of a franchise fee. You can take part of the commission and buy the stock at a discount. It's a better business model, even if you're not concerned about residual income. income. If you just want to build your real estate business as well, and that's just because of the forethought of Glenn Sanford and the way that he's designed our company to be able to help real estate agents leverage technology to be able to work with the kinds of clients that they want and to build their business in a much more productive and peaceful way. It's a beautiful way to do business, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you know, to kind of expand on what you just said, what came to my mind is, you know, at traditional brokerages, it's unilateral. There's one path to be successful. And that one path is be out with clients, write offers, take listings. That's one path. eXp, seriously, there's like 3 paths. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm so excited. I can go down all these roads. And that just isn't offered anywhere else. There is one path in and one path out. Where at eXp, I don't even know. I mean, it's unbelievable the peace that I feel, like I said, for the first time in 19 years.
Wow, life is beautiful. It's a beautiful way to do business, that's for sure. So what do you see as next for you, Miss Debbie? Tell me where you see 2020 for you, pretty lady.
So I see 2020 as, you know, anybody that has seen my Facebook lately, there's a hashtag empire under construction. I'm rebuilding my empire, Tracy. It crumbled into pebbles. But you know what? I'm rebuilding my empire. I get to work. And not work, but I get to partner with people like you. And by the way, your book is fabulous.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you for that. And just, I see myself taking off in a way that I have not been able to in years, because all these years I've been under the thumb of a broker telling me what I can and can't do, what is allowed or what isn't allowed. And you know what? Those chains are off, girlfriend. Those chains are off. So 2020 for me is going to just be explosive. The castle's coming back up, my friend.
Oh my God. Well, I am honored and blessed to be your business partner. And, you know, I think about this model, how I never could have afforded to have you come and work for my brokerage when I was with Century 21 and or vice versa. I mean, we both just had too much really great things going on. But eXp allows us to partner with agents that are playing at much higher levels, because suddenly we're not working for each other. We're actually business partners building our own businesses, but we have a vested interest in helping each other grow their business as well. It's up to the level of people that we're spending time with. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And for those agents out there that, you know, feel like, oh, I'm okay, that maybe have built teams,
right,
that are, that have teams under them, take it from someone who had a team. When this someone couldn't perform anymore, it all went away. Why would you not move? Like, why would you not bring your whole team? Or even brokers in smaller brokerages, why would you not bring all of them over with you? And guess what? All of a sudden, you've got that second form of security for your family. Because let me tell you something, tomorrow, people talk, right? People talk. If a team sees a better opportunity somewhere else, they are going there.
right.
I've seen people lose 10 members of a team in one day.
Right.
You know, and the thing is bringing a team to eXp, not only are you really helping yourself, but you're helping them, because now they can benefit greatly when they find those rock stars that they want to bring onto the team as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, I had the #1 Century 21 team in the nation for Century 21 and the #1 real estate team in the city for San Antonio for many years. And The really great team members, I would lose them to better opportunities. There was always somebody that was offering them a better deal, a bigger office, a better split. And the agents that weren't so good, they stuck around, but I'd give them leads and they wouldn't close them. So you're exactly right. With eXp, it flips the whole thing on its head. As a team leader, my gosh, my biggest goal is how can I help my team grow and prosper so they go start their own little mini team. I earn residual income off of that, and then it totally changes the whole equation. You're not losing anybody, because where else are they going to go? There's not a better model out there.
Right.
There's two kinds of real estate agents that I think eXp is an inherent yes for. For the real estate agents that are not making the kind of money that they want, they're struggling in their real estate business, eXp is going to give those real estate agents an opportunity to generate more leads, an opportunity to keep more of their money, an opportunity to work with clients that they want to work with, not somebody that just happens to pick up the phone. It allows you to build your real estate business the way that you want, with the time schedule that you want. So that's for the agents that are not doing as well as maybe they know that they can do. But for agents like the place that you and I were at, where we're successful, we're firing on all cylinders, things are going well, those agents come to eXp because they're capable of doing basic math. And when you look at the math with eXp, when you look at the Agent Icon program, when you look at the stock awards, I have my stock awards alone are way bigger than the cap that I would have paid into eXp for the past 4 years. So when you really dig deep into the math, it's just almost an inherent yes. So if you've looked at eXp and you haven't jumped on board, man, reach out to me, reach out to Debbie. Let us really show you the math behind why this is the most logical business decision. When you look at the stock historically, what the people that have done that have taken their 5% and invested in the stock, when you look at the revenue share, when you look at the opportunities, when you look at the lead generation systems, there's just, it's just I love what Glenn says, our founder. It's just financially irresponsible to be with any other real estate company other than ours.
Right. And I think one night in Detroit, we were sitting there talking about the math, and I shared, I was absent when they taught math. I was absent. But for me, the eXp math makes so much sense, and it is so easy to wrap your brain around to, okay, this is my path to success. Right. This is my path to security. Not only for me, but for my family. I cannot wait. One of my big goals in life, my son, 15 years old when he lost his dad, and he manned up. He stood by my side, strong and tall the whole way. And do you know what it's going to be for me to, I get so excited the day that I'm going to be able to help he and my daughter-in-law get into their dream home, not because they need me to. They're fine on their own, but because it is going to make my heart so happy to say, no, we're going to look at this because mom is going to help you.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. That we all do this because we have people that we love and that we care about, and we want to give back to those folks that have done so much for us. It's a great blessing to be in business with you, Miss Debbie. I'm just honored and so happy.
Same here. Oh, Traci, I value you so much.
I feel the exact same way, and I can't wait to see you in San Antonio here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a great time at the next Maximum Experience in beautiful San Antonio. For more information about that, reach out to me, reach out to Debbie, reach out to the Hayes family, the Donnell family. We are here to help you guys and serve y'all every step of the way. And as we move into this holiday season and this Thanksgiving season, I'm just grateful beyond measure to have such a beautiful and brilliant and truly inspiring business partner in you, Debbie. I'm just honored and blessed to be in business with you.
Oh, Traci, thank you. I hope I feel, my first conversation with you lit the spark.
Oh, yay. Well, it definitely lit a spark inside of me as well. And I just am so happy. And we're going to have so much fun building our empires together.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Facebook family, for joining us. Miss Debbie, much love. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I'll see you in a few weeks in beautiful San Antonio.
I can't wait. And any of you that want to come, I can't wait to see you either. So let us know.
Much love, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.